we're still trolling along at 1.8 to 2.2. I changed depths a little bit up and down. We started fairly deep. So right there I was at 27 feet. I just changed out. I went to a Lure Jensen Lake Troll on number 2 with a bolo blade and a pink Max wedding ring behind it with a worm on the back, which really seems to be what they want to see in this lake. Spinners and worms seem to do fairly well. I've been up and down in the water column. I tried a plug, tried a hoochie, and I didn't even get a hit until just now. As soon as I changed that out, I got hit at 27 feet. We ran the fish hawk at the beginning of the day, so we saw 70-degree water down to 20 feet. Down at 30 feet, it's about 57. So 20 to 30 should be the target depth in here, and see if we can get this thing in and see what we got.
Morning, folks. We're out here at American Lake. We've been fishing for maybe 5 minutes, and this will be our 3rd fish in the boat.
Didn't even have time to set up the camera and stuff. Of course, they just planted this, I guess, as we're sorting through again, getting a bunch of little dinky things.
So Mike is running that depth prism he used yesterday at Stillicum, and I picked one up on a Trout Tricks letting out.
Gold depth prism.
And then I'm running a little bit of a Dodger with a Max wedding ring on it, where we picked up the other one.
So we're at we're about the quarter moon today, a little past the quarter moon. Weather's overcast. It's 50, 60 degrees, something like that. And water temperature's about 63. We're trolling at 2.2 right now. So Pete picked one up at 20 feet. He picked one up on the lead core, just letting it out. That one I just picked up was at 5 feet on a downrigger.
So, you know, we talk about speed trolling, and this is the time of year as that water temperature gets in the low to mid 60s. And today Mike and I started at 3 miles an hour, and we basically dedicated, we were going to spend the first hour at that speed. We did struggle with depth a little bit, but we came up to 5 feet and we're starting to get hit. And so this is the second fish at 5 feet. We're still at 3 miles an hour. And so usually like to dedicate an hour or so to speed trolling. And then if that doesn't work, we kick it down a little bit. And so obviously the faster you go, you want bigger lures that can handle that speed, that won't roll on you unless they're designed to roll. And then one of the things that we know about this lake is wedding rings are really productive on this lake. And so I went with a fish flash because you control that at 3 miles an hour without worrying about it, and a spinner. And so I have a fish flash with about a 2-foot leader to a Max wedding ring running a worm. And so second hook up in about 5 minutes.
Secret, Pete.
Trout Tricks worms from Fish Hunt Shoot. 2.5 colors deep.
There's that worm, running it on a Aberdeen cricket hook. I think it's a Trout Tricks worm.
Yeah, I'm running a Trout Tricks worm, and one of the things we like to talk about is lure selection, depth, and speed. And so for lures, we like picking lures that work at the speed you're trolling. We're currently trolling at 2.2, so for me that's Trout Tricks. That's a standard trigger spoon, a pinhead spoon, a junior trigger spoon, kind of on the low end for like a Yozuri minnow. That's what Mike's pulling.
Which is what I'm running.
And so for lures, just try to pair the speed you're going with the presentation you're using. I'm also fishing a Max wedding ring down there because I can run it at different speeds. And so this actually is the Max, right in the finger, came out. So that was actually the Max wedding ring at 1.5 colors, which really is about 30 feet into my backing.
Yeah, that's the worst, when you catch one on a rod that's not a kokanee black.
I know,
right? Good God, every time Pete stands up, he catches 2 fish on 2 rods. Oh, I got one behind me here, it looks like. So odd that Pete's actually fishing one rod at 20 feet. We're picking up some fish down there. It seems early in the season for that to me, but the fish know more about being fish than I do, apparently. Trout Tricks lead core, 2.5 colors, seems to be continuing the bite. We're seeing fish deep, but a lot of times when you see them down that deep this time of year, it's not really productive to chase them.
Another plant. Got it?
You tell them they're not very big, they got no color to them very much, not worth a dang for eating. Actually, that one's got an adipose.
With a fish flash at 20 feet.
Of course. Any depth, any color. Steve Fisher.
Trout tricks.
Trout trick legend. Now I got him hooked in the bottom of the net. Where is he? No, he came off.
Depth is
without
pretty
the fish
interesting.
cam.
Without the fish cam. My content advisor is we need fish cam, and we're working on it, but just hard to get.
Down for 1 minute. Crazy.
Well, I was thinking about, leaving fish to find fish, and maybe going see if we can find something that's more size going a couple different places.
In other words, you're getting bored of catching all the fish.
Oh, Mike, there's one right there. Take it. Got the net. Yeah, well, I'm trying to net, and the thing's bouncing all around. See if we can get a little California release here.
That fish was on there, really. Still not sure he is.
Because we're going by a boat.
Yeah. The old go by a boat magic always works. Shocker. Pete's got another one on a Trout Tricks worm. We're okay up front.
Well, we talked about depth, and then, Mike talked about the fish hawk, and then us playing around. Typically, one starts shallow, one starts deep, and we try to work together until we locate the fish. And then we really talked about speed, and this is starting to get on the time of the year that we'll do speed trolling. We'll start about 3 miles an hour, and then if we don't catch anything, we'll go down. And in lure selection, part of that is knowing the lake that you're fishing, what's successful there, and Mike talked about that just a little bit ago, that this really is a wedding ring lake, and so we have the most luck on wedding rings. And I was down 5.5 colors in my backing in regards to depth, and I came up from 300 feet to 256 where I got that fish.